Did you recently go through a breakup with a partner who has the dismissive avoidant attachment style, and you chose to do no contact with them, and now that you're in no contact, there's silence. And that silence is making you ask yourself some questions. Questions like, what is my dismissive avoidant ex feeling or thinking? Is no contact working? Are they missing me? Are they thinking about me at all? If you're asking yourself some of these questions, then you're in the right place, because I'm going to be answering these questions in this video. So let's get into it. My name is Katya Morozova. I'm a personal and relationship coach. I help people overcome from heartbreak, and I help them understand themselves and their partners. And I do this through understanding and using attachment theory. If that sounds good to you, if that sounds interesting, then definitely subscribe to my channel or just stick around and watch this video. Before we go into my opinion of what a dismissive avoidant, or rather a person with this attachment style, could be thinking and feeling during no contact, I think it's really important to cover something. And that something is how you started no contact. And, what that looked like. Did you choose to have a conversation with them? Did you just stop speaking to them? How did your relationship end? How did no contact come about? Right? And so because we're not going to be able to cover all of that in this video, because everyone's situation is unique, I'm going to be giving you a very general perspective of what I think this attachment style could be going through during no contact, because I don't have context about how you particularly started no contact. So if you want an individualized answer about, what I think this person is going through, then I really do recommend that you book a one-on-one coaching session with me. I treat all relationships as unique, because they are. And I don't agree with a lot of people's, kind of blanket advice on relationship breakups, because, breakups are not the same, and no two relationships are the same. So with that said, let's get into my opinion of what a person with a dismissive avoidant attachment style could be going through during no contact. So I'm going to make some assumptions about your relationship with a dismissive avoidant partner. And that is that you have this pattern in the relationship that is moving towards moving away, meaning you're likely moving towards them and they're likely moving away from you. And so the reason I'm explaining this is to give you some context about the first thing that I think a person with this attachment style might be feeling. So if you have this worn pattern where you're moving towards them, they're moving away, you want to repair, you want to fix, they want to move away, they want to deactivate, they have probably grown used to this pattern between the two of you. So if you initiate no contact with them, the likelihood that the first thing that they may experience is they may actually not notice. So that's the first thing, is they may not notice at first, because they're gonna feel some kind of sense of, maybe initial relief, or they're gonna be like, oh, okay, finally I have some room to breathe. And that's probably what they're going to feel. So initially, like the very initial part of it is may not notice at all, because this is how they're used to communicating in the world, without a sense of urgency to communicate with others. Then the next thing that would likely happen is they may start to notice, oh, something's different. If you told them that you were going to do no contact with them, then likely they'll probably wait to see if you're actually going to follow through with that. And so, so they'll be surprised. They'll be, after this period of, I'm not really, noticing that anything has changed, then they will probably feel surprised. And they will notice that the pattern has been interrupted. And in that space, they may have a multitude of thoughts and feelings. They could miss you a little bit. They could maybe question their choice. They could think a little bit more about the relationship now that they have some space within that surprise, or they may actually, feel what it's like to not be without you, or to even be maybe rejected by you. So that could generate some surprise and some confusion and some mixed feelings. Now, this initial stage of no contact is likely going to be very fleeting. Those feelings of surprise, maybe some feelings of missing you or some sadness. They'll be fleeting, and likely after that, the dismissive avoidant attachment style person will probably go into deactivation. So, you can't forget that no contact is not is a fix-all solution, and it doesn't necessarily change things immediately. Even if you give someone some space for a short amount of time, that doesn't mean that they're going to just at the snap of your fingers just change their mind. And likely, if they do just immediately change their mind, then you're probably in an unhealthy relationship. And I say this because if you have to do no contact with someone in order for them to pay attention to you again, or to change their mind, or to all of a sudden feel like, oh my gosh, I can't lose this person, if it happens that instantly for them, then this is not a really good sign of how healthy of an individual this person is and how capable they are of being in a relationship. Those instances are more rare, because I think a lot more people are in, I would say, a larger portion of the population is in a healthier range, where, it makes sense that no contact wouldn't kind of immediately change their mind about you. So with that said, that next stage would likely be deactivation. So, something happened to end the relationship. So they're, even though you're doing no contact, they're probably going to continue to deactivate and use deactivation strategies to move away from the relationship. That stage, I can't really predict how long. I know I've predicted in previous videos, but I'm not really willing to do that anymore, because the reality is that I don't know. And but I think that it depends on, again, how the relationship ended, what happened towards the ending, how long was the fallout of your relationship. I think those are a lot more important things to pay attention to if you want to, or to consider, I should say, if you want to really understand what might be happening for this person during no contact. Now, during the deactivation stage of no contact, a person with this attachment style may do a number of things. They may distract themselves. Deactivating strategies actually take a lot of work for the avoidant, for the person with the avoidant strategy. And so that is why someone who maybe has this attachment style and is feeling quite a bit of pain, and when they're feeling pain, or they're feeling such a strong amount of feelings that they don't know what to do with, they employ the deactivation strategy, right, to deactivate their attachment system. And so if that is taking them a lot of work to do that, then what they'll do is they'll likely distract themselves with various, hobbies or coping strategies, work. And those could be ranging from, the kind of really healthy to the unhealthy. And that is kind of more dependent on where this person is in their life phase, or how healthy they are as an individual, or how healthy their coping strategies are. So I can't just say that one person will be out there, having tons of sex and drinking and doing drugs, if that's not a match for who they are as a person or their personality, or just because they're a dismissive person with this attachment style doesn't mean that they might be going off and doing that. If it's not a match for who they are as a person. Here's the part where I'm split about no contact, and I wanted to address both parts of this. And this is probably the stage of no contact that you all clicked on this video to hear about. So let's get into, okay, so some time has passed and you've been doing no contact for some time, and let's say you've also been strict about no contact. So you really haven't been in communication with this person. And so this is where it could go a couple of different ways. So if you and this person had a really, really strong connection, and if they were on the fence about breaking up, or they're, you know, they don't fully know that this is what they want, then no contact can give someone who's in this space some time to really think about what they want and to come back around to the relationship from a different space. And this is where no contact can be really useful, is when, you know, a relationship has these worn patterns that are really unhealthy for both parties. And, you know, neither of you really like how you're treating one another. Neither of you know how to really interrupt this pattern. And so being out of communication can actually be really positive. It can be really healthy to, you know, to regroup and maybe come back to the relationship from a different space. And so, you know, if that's what your partner who has this attachment style, you know, if that's where they're at, then maybe after a few months, 3 to 6 months, it could be a good idea to reconnect, or to, you know, I think that they could be in a much more open place to receive your communication, to potentially reconcile, or to have conversations from a different space. Now, the other possibility is that no contact does nothing for you. And the reality is that no contact, you know, again, going back to this, no contact is not a fix-all. It's not a, you know, it's not a blanket solution for your relationship problems. There is the possibility that no contact does nothing, and it just makes you grow further apart because the relationship was never meant to be. The relationship wasn't going to go anywhere. It wasn't a match for a multitude of reasons. You know, maybe it was volatile, or maybe it wasn't volatile. Maybe, you know, you just didn't share the same feelings for one another, in which case no contact is really going to do nothing for you, except the most important thing that it should be doing for you, which is really giving you space and time to heal and to focus on yourself and to let go of this person who likely is not going to be coming back. No matter if you do no contact, no matter how you do no contact, no matter how you implement it. So that would be my honest answer about what would probably happen maybe 3 to 6 months in, or longer. Again, I'm just estimating, I should say, about what that could look like. Now, as I mentioned earlier in this video, I do think that how you start no contact is important. And I think a lot of people have some kind of strange ideas about what no contact actually is, and when to implement it and when to not implement it. So there are times when doing no contact is actually going to be detrimental to your relationship and is not a good idea. So if you have those types of questions of, you know, if you've been watching a bunch of videos and all of them are telling you to do no contact, but something in your gut tells you that maybe this isn't the right thing to do in my particular situation, then I would really recommend booking a one-on-one session with me where we could actually discuss if no contact is an appropriate strategy for your unique relationship dynamic, because it is not a cure-all. And in fact, it can, it can really be painful in certain situations where no contact is not warranted, but people kind of panic, and in a panic, they consume a lot of information that is catered towards the general population, which is, okay, but then you're applying it to a unique situation, your unique situation, and it's like, what's that expression about the shoe doesn't fit, don't wear it? I can't remember. Anyway, so If you want to explore whether, no contact is a good idea, or if you think that you did it right, if you're already in no contact, then I'm happy to discuss that in a coaching call, and you can book that in the description below. And finally, if you are in no contact, or if you're in this stage where you really do want to take some space from the relationship, you want to take some space to work on yourself, you would like to understand the relationship better, what happened between the two of you, did you have a part to play in it, where do you end, where does the other person begin, what do you have control over, what do you not have control over, and then from there move into really restoring yourself, feeling like yourself again after a breakup, so that if you do decide to reconnect with this person, then you're really coming at it from a place of, security and some certainty and power, and also from a place of choice. Like, yeah, I do want this and I do think it's a good idea. And not just because this other person will take you back. If that's something that you want to work on, if you want to dig deeper, if you want to work on your attachment style and, move towards security, really understand the relationship dynamics that you've been a part of, then I would really recommend that you apply for my 3-month program, Recover, Restore, Reconnect, which is a high-touch coaching container, where we have sessions every week, where you have contact with me in between sessions, and it's really a support system so that you can make progress more rapidly. It's an accelerated program. So if that's something that you're interested in, then that is also going to be in the description, and you can apply for that program as well. And from there, once you apply, you can book a consultation with me, and then once I review your application, then I'll approve your consultation, and then we can discuss your goals, your challenges, and a solution to those challenges through my program, and decide if it's a good fit for you. So if that sounds good to you, again, that link's in the description. All right, well, I hope that you really liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to watch more videos like this. And my next video is on the dismissive avoidant and why they come back. So definitely check that out. That's going to be right up here. All right, see you. Thanks for stopping by.